A lot of times when persons who are undergoing mental health treatment for their condition, it usually falls into one of two categories. It's either therapy or medication, and sometimes it's both. If you find yourself in a situation where you're receiving medication for your condition, sometimes it's tough when you're trying to find out whether or not you have a case that is significant, because the medications give a picture, but not a complete picture. So for instance, same thing like pain medications we talked about a few days ago. If you're taking, there are certain medications that let you know about a certain severity, like Paxil, like Zoloft. And then there's other medications that indicate that maybe a more significant mental health impairment, like Abilify, Risperdal, Geodone, things about that. When you're taking these medications, it is very important for you to focus on, especially for Social Security's purposes, describing what impact is this medication's having. Are you noticing a difference? Are you feeling lightheaded? Are you drowsing, kind of out of it? Is it making you more irritable? Are you noticing an improvement in your symptoms? Are you noticing that your condition is starting to do a little bit better? Like, let's say, for instance, that you don't like to go out and deal with the general public, but when you're taking the medication, are you able to do that? Are you able to tolerate people? And let's say you are taking these medications and you're noticing an improvement. How long does it last? Like, let's say, for instance, you've got medication you only take once a day, but then it only lasts for 5 hours. Well, then what happens after that 5? Well, it goes back to this. Well, can you take more medication? No, it's only once a day. That's important. And you want to make sure that not only if you're noticing that it's only lasting for a finite period of time, let your doctors know. Because this is important, because they may need to adjust your medication accordingly. Maybe the medication serves a particular purpose. Like, maybe, let's say, for instance, that they give it to you at night because you have racing thoughts, and that when you go to sleep, that's the only way you can sleep. Well, let me ask you something. When you wake up in the morning, do you still have racing thoughts? Well, yeah. Well, can you take more of that same medication? No, because 1, the doctor only tells me I can take it once a day. 2, I can only take it at night because it knocks me out. So then how do you deal with the racing thoughts? Are there other medications you're taking for that? Well, no. Have you told your doctor this? Because if the notion is to get medication to help you deal with the racing thoughts and it's only helping you to sleep, but you're still having them during the day, that's important. Okay? Now, side effects. Are you noticing any problems to this? And we're going to talk a little bit more about side effects tomorrow. So it's important for you to understand that if you're experiencing any side effects, like we talked about before, about how they made you feel and what impact they have on you and so forth, make sure you let your doctors know this. And I know sometimes people are like, Attorney Reeves, I tell my doctor, he or she ain't listening to me. Listen, trust. You want that to get in your records. I don't care if you feel like you're a broken record. You need to let them know. You need to let them know, so this way they're documented to your file. Now, here's the tricky part. It's not like you're sitting right next to them watching them write it down. So you don't necessarily know if they're actually doing it there. But the one thing you can control is you can control how often you let them know. So don't be shy. Let them know if you're noticing some problems with the medications. Remember, medications and mental health conditions tend to go hand in hand like a lot of other impairments. But it's important that you are proactive about paying attention to the impact that medications have on you so that you can use that information to describe the nature of your condition and as it relates to your disability case. Tune in tomorrow while we talk about side effects of medications and your side effects.